This is the vertebral artery. From here it becomes the basilar artery, but before its branches, this branch, this is the pica, posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Here this is ica, anterior inferior cerebellar artery. This branch is labyrinthine artery. This is pontine artery. This is superior cerebellar artery, and lastly this is posterior cerebral artery. This branch, this is posterior communicating artery, and this is internal carotid artery. This is superior view of the cerebellum. So here this is the superior cerebellar artery, here also superior cerebellar artery. When we go to the inferior, we have these two. On this side, this is anterior inferior cerebellar artery, this is posterior inferior cerebellar artery. But on this side, this is the anterior inferior cerebellar artery, this lateral part. Here, this is the posterior inferior cerebellar artery which joins here. This is also a branch of the posterior inferior cerebellar artery. Posterior inferior cerebellar artery, anterior inferior cerebellar artery. This is the superior sagittal sinus. Here is the inferior sagittal sinus. The inferior sagittal sinus, here it becomes the straight sinus. And here, this was the superior sagittal sinus. Here is the confluence of sinuses. Here is confluence of sinuses. This is the transverse sinus. This is superior petrosal sinus. This is the sigmoid sinus. This is the occipital sinus. Lastly, this is here is the cavernous sinus. In the cavernous sinus, the internal carotid artery and the abducens nerve pass through it. And lastly, this is sphenoidal sinus. It's on the greater wing of the lesser wing of the sphenoid.